All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at this time. It is right on the dot 5:30 p.m. Please turn all cell phones, electronic devices to off or vibrate. And Mr. Bob McDaniel, would you please lead us in our prayer and pledge this evening, sir?
Heavenly Father, you tell us in your word that where two or three are gathered, there you will be also. So we pray that you'll open our ears so that we'll hear your word. Open our minds so that we'll hear your wisdom. Open our hearts so we'll feel your love. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All right, council will convene in a budget workshop for the fiscal year 2020. You should have the paperwork in front of you. I don't believe there's much color on it this time. I don't know why.
Well, what we did, we went through and added all the changes that we talked about last time and made everybody kind of a fresh copy. That way you're not getting confused or red screens and yellows. So this is the budget as it states. Now, the police went through and had some, they have a proposal. He's revised his police budget and the animal control budget. And under number one, under general fund, if you want to skip to that real quick, it's on page 3 of 13. Okay, what I did there, he gave me what he sent over, and I put it in the right-hand column. And
So the proposed changes are in the right-hand column of the notes?
that is correct.
Okay.
So, and I don't know, Stan, do you want to go through your proposal? I mean, your
Making presentation?
your presentation now, or
It's up to y'all, whatever y'all want to do.
do you want to run through this real quick? I don't.
I can run through this real quick. Basically, we're bringing up the patrol salary because right now, pretty much where we stand, we're stuck. So if we raise it up that much, have that much fluctuation room, so that way.
Now to clarify, is this bringing this up, is this actually looking at changing everybody's pay, or is this just putting a buffer in the budget?
A buffer in the budget.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
So now the clerical salary, that is a raise, not much, but it is some. I didn't know how much, what our final number was, how much we had to play with.
What is that hourly rate coming up? Or what it was, and what is it?
It was 14 something.
You're talking on clerical?
Yeah, clerical.
So what you're requesting is in the notes column, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're asking for a $45 raise? For clerical,
So
am I
that's a
reading that?
change,
Just a, yeah,
because we talked about 33,280 before, and now we're talking about 27.
well, before, you only had $81,000 to play with. And so I try to adjust my numbers to get a better chance of getting money, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Prioritize.
Just want to be sure that
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate that.
we were on the same, I mean, I don't mind it going down at all, that works for me fine. I
I feel
just
like
want
this
to be
is
sure.
asking for like a $45 raise.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Patrol cars, leaving it at the 55. That's the lease proposal that we were given. And still give us enough money in there for any, maintenance that's needed.
Is that released for one car?
Yes. Well, no, that's for the three.
That is three?
Okay, that's for the three.
That's for the three for,
Oh, that's for the year.
I can't remember if it was about the 5-year or the 6-year plan,
Right.
but one of the two.
And that was based off of the one we presented last meeting?
Yes.
Not the new one, did you check with Enterprise or looking
I
at
have
it?
checked with Enterprise. It seems like a very good deal. Way he was talking to us on the phone. He wants a list of all our vehicles that we have now, year, mileage, everything. So that way he can build a proposal for us.
Okay.
I do have the proposal he had for Coleman. Did not get that sent out today, but I can, later on.
I was just curious if you followed up on it.
And it really, it's a real good deal. Depends on the plan you have. He was explaining to me a 2-year plan. After that 2 years, there's no mileage restriction. They take care of all the maintenance to it. And in 2 years, basically trade it in. They give you the value for it for your next purchase. To go on from there. So you really get the main discount from them buying the vehicle first because they get it at a cheaper rate.
Correct.
So to speak. And we can still use our own vendor to outfit the vehicles, all that stuff.
Was the price lower than the 55 that you presented?
It's still about the same.
Okay.
I think maintenance was included.
Yeah, so our maintenance should go down if we do that.
But on the other ones, the maintenance was not included, was?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, on the other one from the other day, that we still are liable for the
What's the
maintenance.
name of this?
On the Enterprise, are you looking at still 3 vehicles or 6 vehicles?
Now, and that was the deal, they can't just do law enforcement, so we have to tie the city into it. So basically, the contract would be underneath the city, and so we would have to do a work truck or something also, is what he was getting
Not
at.
following.
I
You're saying it
I didn't follow it either.
Okay.
Well, what he's saying, it's not, they don't just do the police department of Ballinger, they do city of Ballinger. And from what he was saying is, if we had another vehicle for the city, then they could tie it.
So in addition to the law enforcement would be other vehicles that were needed?
Right.
Okay.
That's why
I mean, they have what they call white vehicles, which is basically your work truck,
Right.
stuff like that, they're emergency vehicles.
Well, and there's a break, what was it, 25 cars? If you go under 25, you go with.
Yeah, it's a different program.
Right.
And we're right there
Over
at 25.
25, and then I don't know, we'd have to look at our inventory to see what it may not even be worth going to the 25, over, it may be.
Well, just do the presentation as first and let the numbers on, and then we'll go from there.
Right. Well, when I counted off the top of my head, we were around 27, 28 vehicles is what I counted.
So 55,000 is what, the down payments, and what is that dollar amount broken
That's
down?
the yearly lease.
Year.
Annual lease and then upkeep on the others.
Yes.
Wasn't it like
How many?
$680 something dollars, and y'all said that was for all?
You just buy it, buy it.
180 for all 3.
And one car,
So that was for one car.
what is one car? When you go buy one car,
60,000.
60,000. So we're getting 3 cars.
Okay,
For that same
yeah.
price.
But when you go buy one car,
The monthly,
is it outfitted? Is that
Yeah, that's
That's outfitted.
That's outfitted.
You ran that thing, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm getting 3 cars outfitted for 55.
Yes. Now
That
for
sounds like a better deal. I'm not very good at
30,
math.
I'm sorry. For 55, it's 40,000. There's gonna be 15,000 left in there for maintenance.
So you're basically have the 40 for the lease and 15 for maintenance?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha. So if we go with Enterprise, we need the maintenance part.
Right. Essentially.
Correct.
We're all clear on that one?
Think so.
Yep. Thank you.
K-9, 4,000. And this is just a reoccurring 4,000 if we go with K-9. That's just for care, maintenance, food, whatnot. And we have a little slideshow for you if you're ready for it. We'll go from there. And the last one would be capital expenditures, which is 9,000, which is also for K-9 purchase.
That's just for the purchase up front.
Yes, just for the purchase up front.
That's purchase of the dog and that's the maintenance of the dog.
Yes,
and we have the training and the overtime is figured in other lines.
we can go through that if you want to. So,
I'll
ready?
forward my questions.
Sure.
It's all in there.
Okay.
I
So,
think that's all the remote control right here.
you wanna take over, Justin? Hey, Justin's gonna do it, 'cause
Okay.
And Justin is the officer that's interested in doing the K-9, so
Did you get bit by a dog?
No, I tore my meniscus a while back. I'm Justin Morrow. I've been with the Ballinger Police Department for almost 3 years. And we got this opportunity. The reason why I'm here today is for our proposal for our K-9 unit. I don't know how long you guys have lived here. So I've been here for 3 years. Found out real quick that this place is a safe haven for our adult and our crime. A few reasons why are because we're understaffed. Plain and simple. They know that we're overworked. They know that we're tired. They know we work one on shift. Another reason is they know we don't have K-9. Our DA has strictly told us before that if our K-9's over 10 minutes, they're going to drop everything we have. So Officer Stone, we use Officer Stone in Reynolds County SO. Go ahead.
Question. Why is that if it's over 10 minutes?
Is for the because what they think is you're prolonging stuff. The reality is that we don't want to get the other K-9 officer or the K-9 hurt if they get in a wreck for exceeding over the speed limit.
there's case law on the limitations of the traffic stop. And basically, the state, or case law states that, you're only allotted the amount of time it does take to write the ticket in order for the K-9 to show up. And there's been studies, and around 10 minutes is gonna be, your average traffic stop, to get all your returns back, to write the ticket, and sign the report. It's because once you got that ticket ready and everything, and they sign it, they're free to go.
done.
If that happens.
Another thing, we have at least 3 active dope houses right now within 1,000 feet of our elementary. You have 2. You can throw a rock at me. You
I
can't
can hit both of them with a
You
rock.
have one pretty close to you.
Turn it on.
Yes. What can our K-9 do for our community? Faster response times to scenes in our community. The crime deterrent, both present. This one really doesn't pertain to us, but it just shows what all the dog can do. It can track and locate missing persons. We had one not too long ago. I don't remember that individual's name. That'd probably be a good example for one like that. Vehicle stops. Pretty much there all the time. You don't have to wait 10 minutes for the K-9 to get there. Searches for schools and other businesses. It also can be used for public relations tools. Can be used for building searches and help ensure officer safety. Like again, that's going to be like your bite dog and stuff like that. That's something we don't want for our community. We just want single purpose. It's going to be just for drugs. Okay. Also with the single purpose dog, you're not going to need any kind of liability insurance because the dog will not bite. I mean, if it is an animal, maybe not. So I have just a couple more things. Vehicle search. Yes, sir.
If you know you have or suspect you have a house, if you walk up to the house and the dog starts going off, I guess.
Well, with that, we're going to have to talk with our DA. We're still going to have pretty on reasonable doubt that there's narcotics in that house. So say we stop 4 or 5 people, we use a dog on them, we get narcotics, and we start building our case piece by piece. And that's how we have to get in the house.
So I guess where he was going was if you just walk in the dog French's house and he goes, to this
And
house.
then, that's what then we'll go along, tell Stan, we'll tell all the other officers in the meeting, and we'll tell them, hey, start watching this house, start getting all our evidence that we need, and we'll start building our cases.
So the dog alone is not enough to build a, I mean.
Not on a resident.
Yeah, not on the resident, only on the vehicle.
I guess.
Any more questions? Okay. The way the K-9 works, K-9 will sniff the airspace around the vehicle or object without a warrant. The dog hits on it, then we can literally search it without any kind of warrant or anything like that. I heard just some small towns around the area. Go ahead.
Very
Poor guy's not
rarely
gonna get
that
the
might
fences.
happen, but what happens is the dog alerts, but you don't find anything.
Well, the way the dog nose works, you can smoke marijuana in the car and it'll be in there for weeks. It's just hit or miss kind of thing. Most of the stops that I have used on the K-9, Yeah, some of them came up empty, but that was another person for me to watch interact. What do you say? I'm gonna try to stop. Usually when the dog comes out, we're gonna find something because I already know who they are. I know what they've been doing. I know pretty much everywhere they go.
You know, the druggies pretty
Yes.
well.
You have a higher percentage of hits than you do not.
Yes.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Well, we got plenty of pictures of that coming up.
if you get a hit and you search the car and you don't find anything, are you opening yourself up for problem?
No,
No.
No, okay.
No. because by law, we have the right to search that vehicle.
Okay, gotcha.
Plus they do a thing called open air search. No one owns the air, so. So the most common drug in our community right now is methamphetamine. I don't know if you guys know, but we have a huge methamphetamine problem here. I'm going to show you some pictures if you guys don't understand.
I found a bag just like that, a block from elementary school.
Yes.
Last year, and I gave it to Stan.
Yeah.
Just like that, sitting on the street on A Street.
Yeah. I found
my dogs.
I found syringes out on the
I didn't know
street.
what it was. I was like, took it him. He was like, oh,
About a month ago, I believe they were 10 or 11, 3 10 or 11-year-olds brought us a bag of meth. They knew what it was, and they brought it to the PD and turned it in. Thank God they did. But we have a huge meth problem here. Like I said, I'm about to show you some pictures here in a little bit, so if y'all need some content on it, just let me know, okay? Our officers here are pretty bogged down. Because of our meth problem, we have a lot of thefts in our community. Assaults, child welfare concerns, domestics, property crimes, burglaries, counterfeit. Here's just some little things on Ballinger. Like I said, we have a few dope houses within 1,000 feet of our elementary school. The youngest person we come in contact that was on methamphetamine was 12 years old. In 2016, the present, our narcotics arrests have went up by 75%. Also, our thefts have risen by 15%. Especially this summer, we've been hit pretty hard by thefts. In December 2018, one of our officers was informed by a Concho County deputy that several students at Ballinger High School were selling huge amounts of narcotics in the school and on the streets. We're still investigating that. We're trying to get that taken care of. Like I said, this is what's in Ballinger, guys. This right here was a multi-agent investigation. The only reason I believe they got the majority of this stuff is because the dog was involved from Winters. The dog was here less than 10 minutes because he already was informed about the situation that we had. I believe, remember how much that was?
What the amount?
I think that was about 5 pounds of methamphetamine. That's here in Ballinger. That's not San Antonio. That's not Natalie. That's here in Ballinger. You can see he also has a bulletproof vest like we wear. He also has I believe it was a stolen handgun as well.
was it the one that was right down in the elementary also?
No, that one was, I don't know if I can say where it was at, but it was,
13th Street.
It's over there.
yeah, you know where it's at. In March 2018, me and a couple other officers hit the streets really hard. We had some information that we got a huge meth shipment got brought in. From March the 5th to March 15th, we were able to take 24 grams of methamphetamine off the streets here in Ballinger. In about 5 or 6 days. Off of those arrests, we use an informant. They also let us know that a resident from here was bringing in large amounts of methamphetamine from Dallas to here. We ended up catching him, or Officer Stone from Winters PD. I gave him a call. He was able to find the vehicle. He made a traffic stop. Using the canine that we're trying to get, he was able to pretty much get the dog alerted on it. We found all that meth. He said it was coming here to Ballinger. It was almost 3 pounds of methamphetamine coming here. We knew who it was coming to. We knew what house it was going to. We knew what time it was going to get there.
How much would that be on the street? Just roughly.
No, well, I know less than that, less than a gram is around $80 to $100, depending on your distributor.
And like I said, that was almost about 3 pounds. He actually had it in the back sitting on the floorboard.
He was pretty confident.
Yeah, the one on the left, that's another one, that was almost 30 grams. We used that off another informant from here in Ballinger. This individual actually lives in Ballinger, but was going to Winters. We were able to stop them, get them taken care of. The other one, right there, I got that off a 19-year-old kid. right here in town. Again, he pretty much gave me consent, and that's how that was found. If he would have told me no, it would have been on the streets. So that's just a little bit more methamphetamine paraphernalia that we find: Q-tips, straws, pipes. It's kind of baggies that comes in usually. Because Stan's such a nice guy, he lets me do interdiction a lot. That's what I like to do. That's pretty much what I'm good at. On the left-hand side, I saw a teenager coming from Lubbock going to San Antonio. While interviewing him, I could tell on his body language and his behavior that he was lying. I ended up finding Molly. So what Molly is, it's MDMA, ecstasy, cocaine, and meth mixed into capsules.
What is MDMA?
It's pretty much. It's a pretty high potent drug. The other one is just some stuff coming out of Colorado. You got some THC, a little bit of marijuana there.
Your previously legal stuff.
Yeah. This is where we start getting into the money seizures and stuff. In April, me and Officer Kumbunga, this is how I pronounce the name? Kumbunga, we got a call to grocery store right here. It was a simple theft case. Found out he wasn't really stealing anything. I began talking to him. Again, his body language and his demeanor proved to me that he was lying. Called the K-9. I told him I called the K-9. He did the whole, put his hands behind his back. So I already knew there was something there. I asked him how much marijuana or how much money did he have. Nothing in there. The dog came. The dog alerted when the subject went in, sat on the floor with his hands behind his back. All over indicators. We searched in the back of his Jeep. We found what he said it was diesel, coconut oil, and THC oil, and he drank it. You drank it and put it upon his body. I don't know why. Right there, also, you found some THC candy. He had a teardrop camper. We started searching that. We removed the seat. I noticed that a screw had tool marks on it. I asked him if he's ever worked on a camper. He said no. We opened it up. We found a hidden compartment. Found about $20,000 in there, all in $100 bills. Also, he had more of those canisters, the mason jars, in that hiding compartment, but the only one that was back there was another one. You could see the indentions of the rings that were in there. He had about 64 of those hidden in there. So he was bringing them back. Also, we seized his vehicle and his camper.
That's currently.
That's currently. And another individual that I was just talking about, again, pulled him over. The dog got there. I ended up searching. I found another 20 grand on him, along with 12 grams of methamphetamine. That was a resident here in Ballinger. But due to the fact that the dog was late, 1 minute and 30 seconds late, more than likely we're not going to get any of that money. And the way that seizure stuff goes at $30,000, if we didn't have to use any other agency's dog, the only person we'd have to split that with is the DA. So that's more money coming towards us. So if we do get that money, majority of it's going to go to the DA, majority of it's going to go to Winters PD, and we're going to give it a very small sum. So if we had a K-9, half of that would be ours.
You might have got 10,000 out of that one basically, and you could have had 15.
Yes.
Or it wouldn't get dismissed for taking.
It wouldn't get dismissed because he was there.
Right.
There's the,
Justicedepartment.gov says $21,000 a pound.
$21,000 pound for minutes.
So that was $63,000 worth, if that was 3 pounds.
3 pounds. This is the, I believe it was 2017 diesel Jeep, and that's the teardrop camper. That's still sitting at the city shop. We're just waiting on to see what happens. See if the DA will take it. Here's some more methamphetamine we got here. This was the marijuana bus on there. That was actually on Highway 83. It was Air Force security officer bringing that through. Again, the demeanor told me that he was lying, and we called the K-9. The K-9 actually got there in 9 minutes and 58 seconds. So that's barely on time.
That's good.
Yes. Here are the two canine companies we decided would be best for our community. Got Pacesetter Canine, that's out of Liberty Hills, Texas. It's veteran-owned, police-owned, and it's commissioned through the DEA. The cost for the K9 there is going to be $8,000. Cost includes a dorm for me to stay in, for me and the dog to bond. Also, they'll give you a 1 year guarantee on the health and training of the dog. So there's on-site dorms. I think Stanley put the meals in there, it's gonna be about 480. It's a 2-week course for both of these classes. Or for both these companies. Total
About
cost-
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, total cost is, right there on the bottom. I'm gonna be Jeremiah K9, it's gonna be out of San Antonio. I've actually seen their dogs work, their dogs are pretty good. Their dogs will actually go to the source of the smell. I really can't tell you about the other company. Their cost is gonna be $6,500 for the canine, $3,500 for the dog. Because I did tell them that we knew, Mr. Stone from, Winters, they gave us actually an extra year on the health and training of the dog. So they gave us 2 years instead of 1. There was no, on-site dorms, so we'll probably have to get a hotel for those 2 weeks. Meals is gonna be the same price again.
They did also say that because we were referred by Winters PD, that they would cost, that the training for the officer, $3,500 would be waived. So that may evidently be a cheaper route to go as well.
Which
So
one is
you'll
that?
subtract 3,500 off that 10,000?
Yeah, so basically you'll subtract the 3,500 off of that 10.
Yeah.
I told him about our community, what we're going through, and he said he's gonna help us out, so.
And this is the same company that Winters actually has their dog from?
Yes, it's the same company that Winters actually has their dogs with. Their new dog, Rob, is an excellent dog. Like I said, he'll go to the source, so if they hide it in the muffler, he's gonna find it. If they hide it in the tire, he's gonna find it. No matter where you put it, he's gonna be there. They're a pretty good company. You're more than welcome to look them up on YouTube. I try to get videos posted on here, but for copyrights and stuff like that, I didn't want to mess with that too much. Okay, for the vehicle, it's gonna be used new, anywhere between, 655,000.
No, we all know the cost of the vehicle. It's still gonna be roughly around $60,000. If we don't, and we retrofit one of our vehicles we have now, there's a company in Abilene that will install everything for right at 6,000, little under 6,000.
That includes the air conditioner for the dog, the pop lock, just in case it does get hot in there for you can escape and everything like that.
But if we get a new leased vehicle, will it come equipped with that?
It will come.
With the K9
Yeah,
setup?
when you do the lease vehicles, they'll get to order them how they want them equipped because they're gonna have them set up that way for us to use them.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
we're going to buy these 3 vehicles plus a dog?
No.
That's going to be included
No,
in that?
no, if we do that lease program, then one of those vehicles will be a canine.
Gotcha.
Okay.
There's just more cost. Food, that's gonna be annual. It's gonna be $720. Indoor and outdoor kennel, we price them in between $750 and $1,000. Toys, he has to get a reward toy anytime he alerts on the car, so that's why it says toys on there. Muzzles, just in case if you guys want to bring them out or national night out or anything or show them off. I will put a muzzle on him just to be 100% sure the dog is not getting moved. Also leads, leashes. Also for the care of the animal, our animal control can actually give this, our canine, a lot of the stuff that we don't have to take to the vet for, deworming, flea, quick assessment, anything like that she can do here free of cost. Also with further training, we can also use Reynolds County and Winters PD. They actually have narcotics from DEA that are allowed for narcotic or for canine training. So that'd be a lot more. That'd save us a lot of money because those drugs from the DEA and the synthetic drugs they're pretty big. So they already have it, so it's pretty much free for us. The only thing they say is just bring something to drink. So that's about it. Here's going to be the budget. I think Stan did this, so I'll let him explain that.
I'll break it down of where the expense is gonna be at. So, with the canine care maintenance, all the kennels, toys, food, all that will come out of that. We roughly, I estimated again, and it was around $3,000. That's if we buy a new kennel every year. So I do expect that to come down once we get 1 or 2 years underneath our belt, see where our average cost is, then we can adjust it there. Capital expenditures, of course, that's where the majority of the money will come from for the canine. And of course, if we have to, we'll take out from the school budget I overestimated, of course, on these numbers. So, if we have to pay for his training with the hotel, meals, because it all comes out of school. So that's where that will come out of. And of course, the vehicle, is still up in the air, I think, so.
Just a little bit more about the companies. The dogs will be pre-trained, potty trained, obedient, everything like that. Jeremiah also teaches them how to bark, how to not bark on command, and stuff like that. The officer will attend a 2-week training. I don't think me and Stan really talked about coming back in the middle of that week, so Friday I'll come back, stay here, and then go back Monday. We haven't really talked about that. Here's just a little bit of success stories from Winters. Their first year, they got 10 grams of heroin, 5 pounds of methamphetamine, 4 grams of cocaine, 180 grams of THC, 5 grams of ecstasy, 500 pounds of marijuana, 10 stolen firearms, and a little over $30,000 in cash. They actually seized the majority of their stuff because they do have a dog there. I think they lost a couple of them, but here's one of Officer Stone's traffic stops. On this one, he got 230 pounds of marijuana. On this particular traffic stop, he said he had to use a dog because the individual would not let him search. So through his communication skills, he found out, that the individual was lying and he wasn't telling the truth. That's what he got. This is another one. April 17, 2019. This is here recently. Officer Stone and his new K9 from Jeremiah Robb got, I believe it was almost 75 grams of cocaine, and 25K was seized. Just on a regular traffic stop. I think he had a tail light. That's how that came about. Here's another one from Winters PD, 75 pounds of marijuana, K9 detectives on the vehicle. Again, this is from Clyde PD, a little smaller agency than us, also population. This is a little bit of their K9 experience they had within the first couple of years. This is a good friend of mine, Josh Abbott. He's from Taylor County. He works the road between Winters and Tuscola. He's always out there. He's had his dog approximately 11 months. He got his dog from the same company. The first night he went out, he got 2 kilos of methamphetamine leaving Winters. I was going to Abilene. Also, within those 11 months, he sees $65K in cash. They've actually kept all that so far. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, ma'am.
When you say kennel, wherever you live with the dog,
Yes, ma'am.
what are we looking at as far as fence? Does it just depend on what's there? When you say kennel, like...
Yes, ma'am. I've been doing my research since I've got here. I've always wanted the K9. I go out with K9 officers all the time. They have a kennel for indoor, for training purposes, also to misbehave.
This is just like a single...
Yeah, it's just a single kennel you put inside.
Okay.
Also, they have the outdoor kennel just before they go to work. It's just like us. We got to get ready to get prepared to go to work and do it. So does this dog. This dog is going to just be like us. It's going to be sick some days. It's not going to want to work. So the outdoor kennel is 10 by 10 little kennel. Puts them in there just for he can get ready and get moving.
And it's inside.
It's inside your inside your privacy fence yard or wherever you want to put it outside.
And my other question was, what is your experience in your life with dogs? I want to make sure you're a dog person.
I've had dogs all my life. My dad raised hunting dogs.
Okay.
So I've never had a German Shepherd. I've had other dogs, I've had pit bulls, Great Danes, Chihuahuas, stuff like that. I'm a caring animal lover. I'm not going to abuse this dog anyway. This is not only my dog. If we do get it, this is the community dog. So it's going to be best trained, best paired in every situation we could think of.
And you would want to do community service like with the school?
Yes, ma'am.
Other public places to show the dog and what
Yes,
it can do? And
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, we're going to take it to school.
I think that's a good idea.
So we are going to get a muzzle just in case. You know how kids are when they see dogs, they want to pet it, pull its tail, stuff like that.
Don't they do the parking lot searches with?
They do, but I believe they have their own company. I don't know where it's out of.
That K9 detects on firearms and tobacco as well, which we can't use that type of dog.
Right, different dog.
Those are legal, so, those are legal to possess. So,
It'd be going off on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, every stop it would be going.
But we are gonna try to talk to school, maybe, every couple of months, go out there and just run the parking lot. Buddy might be another option to help those guys out with that problem they have there as well. Like I said, National Night Out, I know we have a couple of daycares, we can probably do stuff like that.
and there's presentations we can do with the public and whatnot.
And other surrounding communities,
Yeah.
smaller communities, would they be calling us?
Yes, ma'am, that's another thing I forgot. I know Officer Stone, I know Don gets called out a lot. They'll go to Coleman, Brownwood, to help DPS a lot. So if they do get a money seizure there, that's another currency going to their department.
So if you get called to Coleman, we pay the overtime, or?
I have no idea how that works.
It's more falls under the mutual aid type agreements that we have. So it would fall under the mutual aid, even though we pay for the bill and whatnot. But, if we have a DPS officer in Concho County that seizes $100,000, we're looking at maybe a 20% cut of that
Yeah.
type of thing. So, I mean, it kind of works out in both ways, and it's, kind of, I rub your back, you rub my back type of thing.
Yeah.
So if we need help, they'll be happy to come help us.
Does Coleman not have a dog now?
Part of them, Coleman
Coleman got rid of
got rid of it. So I don't know what the
$30,000.
speculations on it are.
Yes,
I just know that.
We have two.
Coleman got rid of it.
Right. You said they've been going to Coleman. I thought they were just now getting rid of it.
Coleman.
Yeah, I know,
Coleman.
majority of that was an SL, and I know they had a couple of DPS raids that I went on with them, that they brought the canine dog out there. And on those raids, we got, I think, over 20 pounds of methamphetamine out of that town as well. And all because Stone was there the majority of the time, it was just, you gotta let them go, because they said, no, we can't search the vehicle. That day, they had a bunch of warrants and everything like that. And I was lucky enough to go along with them and experience that firsthand.
Just out of curiosity, when y'all see that kind of stuff after it goes through all the courts and everything, what becomes of it?
If we're awarded it,
We're
or
talking about the drug itself.
the drug itself,
Yeah, they'll send it to I think it's in El Paso, and they'll destroy the drug.
Yeah. A lot of it we have to keep until the case has fully been,
Yeah, that's.
if the guy gets convicted for 20 years, we have to hold it for 20 years because he still has the right for appeal. So we have to store it, so to speak. But if it's dismissed or anything, we can get it destructed.
I do know that the marijuana gets destroyed pretty quick because there's a lot of it coming in. So, but like you said, you got to wait for a long while to destroy some of that stuff.
But then, basically what we're saying is this really depends, this whole program really depends on what we can do with the lease program with Enterprise.
Well, no, I mean, no, not really. Because whether we go Enterprise, we go with that other company, or, we don't get any vehicles,
We
I
can,
just need $6,000 and I'll outfit a vehicle.
we can take an existing vehicle and re-out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on the vehicle, we're not gonna hold this off because we're dependent on a vehicle. I mean,
Yeah, we can retrofit one we've got
yes,
for $6,000 or $7,000.
yes.
What is the time span of this dog being in service?
Depending on,
I think the next class I've seen was in September, so,
But what's the lifespan of the service? When did you get it? How long
you
will
can
they
pretty
serve?
much work it until, I think it's about 9 years. And after that, it has to become just a normal dog after that.
So-
About that time, it starts getting a little bit cranky and doesn't want to work out.
So how old are they when they're getting them? 1 to 2 or?
Through Jeremiah, pace setter really didn't have their ages on there. The youngest dog there is about 2 months or 9 weeks, something like that. They're very young there.
When you get it,
Canine Titan that we've been looking at, he's about 2 years old right now. Zeus, I think he's about 3 months, 4 months. And Katie is she's very young. But they're saying that she's the best one out there as of this moment right now. They do fly younger dogs out of Denmark and Europe. They also get some of their other dogs from South America, and they ship those every month.
So if you get a young puppy like that, that's, 10 weeks, how long till they can go to work?
That's a good question. I can't
What's the minimum age of employment?
I can't really tell you. All the canine guys I know, their dogs are pushing that 10-year mark, and they're starting to get, like I said, like all of us are going to be cranking when we've been working that long. So.
But we don't know if they are trained at 1 year or 2 years.
They're pretty much trained for a good 5 years. After that, you'll just see how the dog is reacting. German Shepherds are kind of an animal. They have a lot of health issues eventually when they start getting older. But they're a good working dog. They'll work until they can't work anymore.
So at what point can we start using the dog if we get a puppy?
As of right now, say, whenever our budget hits, October, when we go, do a 2-week course, right when the dog gets here, if we have a vehicle, the first 9 weeks, it's out on the street.
A little puppy can?
I'm telling you, I can see if I can get a picture here in a minute. It's very small puppy.
So young, they can go to work.
Yes.
They're embedded with the smell from day one. So they know the smell from day one.
Well, and certain animals are going to learn something faster than other animals, and like we were saying, one is better than the other. That just depends, and that's when they're ready to go.
I just have no idea. I thought they had to go like 2 years of training before they.
I believe they have a black chocolate lab there too. That one's getting to the point where it's getting pretty good and it's ready to do the work.
But you're saying, once in service, you're talking 5 to 9 years, depending on breed.
Yeah.
So say it's a German Shepherd, you're talking 5 to 7, just because of its health issues.
Yeah.
But if it's another dog, it could be up to 9 or 10 years.
It could be up to 9 or 10. Like I said, just the environment you're going to put it in.
Right.
Black dogs have a lower
Correct.
lower lifespan just because of what they do and how they protect.
They got to be more aggressive.
Yeah,
and
they got to be more. Well, I mean, canine Rolf, and when he's the most nicest dog you ever meet. You can poke him in the eye, pull his tail, and he won't bite you. But once he knows it's time to go to work, and once Stone tells him what to do, and then it's time to go to work. But after that, it's just a normal, everyday dog.
We have met him personally.
Nicest dog you ever met, right? He's terrifying.
That sounds a little funny there, doesn't it?
He's terrifying once you meet him, but other than that, he's a very loving dog.
Yeah. Our daughter's really good friends with him, and we've been around Rob a lot, and he is just a normal dog.
Well, with just the canine here, it'll be this individual. So we've already had Jokers talking about this since I've been spreading the word. Hey, we might be getting a canine. So if it doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. But if it does, and ever since then, that's all they're worried about, because they know we watch them every day.
On the seizures, as long as, we were talking about seizures, and that's something we've talked about in the past. As far as a seizure, that's where it comes into play to where those funds can come back into the department.
Yes.
Which would help reduce the budget needs, because the dog would actually be seizing things that would actually benefit us and feed the
And
department.
I've told Stan and Chris this all the time. I've been doing the narcotics thing since I've gotten here. That takes time. I just can't go out there and first time pull somebody over, it's 30 grand or it's 30
No,
pounds.
I'm not expecting that, but I'm saying the opportunity is there.
Yeah, the opportunity is there.
Correct.
It's just, everybody's gonna have to be patient.
For 2 years for that dog, or
Do what?
one good hit to pay for the dog for 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but what I'm saying, the opportunity is there when you don't have the opportunity now. You have 3 main highways coming through
Oh,
town.
yeah, and 83 is 83. We try to hit 83 as much as we can, but our methamphetamine problem here, guys, is so bad, it's to the point where, we can't do any more than we can.
When my kids sit at the skating rink and count the meth heads as they go by, a third grader, they can pick out meth heads.
Yeah,
And that's.
when my kids come down, I don't like them.
Believe me,
I don't like them.
he gets tired of me texting me, there's another guy over his backpack. There's
Yeah,
no bicycle
there's one
back
right
there.
on me. Digging through my dumpster right now. Yeah.
Is there any more questions, comments, or concerns right now? I'm gonna sit down when he's coming.
Yeah,
You guys have any more questions? Just let me
Thank
know.
you.
Can you keep up with the dog?
Yeah, really?
I did contact Mayor Yates over in Winters, and I did visit with her about the dog. They're on their second dog. As he was saying, this is the second dog they've had. And I asked her what her response was personally and professionally, and she said, everything's positive. They've done a good job. The dog pays for itself eventually. We haven't had a lot of negatives, and there's not a lot of negative from the citizens. You know, she says, I can't comment outside of that.
Yeah.
She said as far as percentages or a lot of the stuff that he did share with us, because she didn't have those numbers, and that was basically, you know, I showed that with Stan to get with Paula and get that stuff from her.
Now, I did find out, you said something about they got the doggone grant.
Yes.
No, it was a private donation
Okay,
to the PD for the price of the dog,
awesome.
is what, how that happened.
Okay.
So,
We tried to get K9 Rob to come up here today, but he wasn't feeling too good, so
Oh,
he's a little bit overworked over the weekend, so.
Oh, from,
Yeah, he's doing a lot of training with him, getting him ready to requalify again, so all the
Okay.
bike training and everything like that, and the heat kind of got to him a little bit.
okay.
I was actually gonna have some dope over there to oversleep, there's the sleepyhead over there.
Well, after about 45 minutes on one subject, you tend to go to sleep.
that's a lot of information.
I didn't get much out of it, maybe you did.
All right,
So,
good deal.
anything else for me, budget-wise?
Don't talk, so.
I'm hoping to have the enterprise numbers by next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Salaries of patrolmen.
Yes.
When you say it's a buffer, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, right now, we're budgeted for what we have. I mean, I think there's a little bit of buffer room, but not much. This will give us a bigger buffer.
Okay.
So that way, if, you know, we do get a canine, and he does get certified, he, you know, needs a little extra for that, so therefore I can give him that. Not much, but
Okay.
It's kind of like fluff in the other areas.
Well, the overall budget is going up like $70,000.
73,975.
Well, I got 69.99, there were some discrepancies. But overall, it was about 70,000.
No. My numbers may be wrong with the
It was.
health insurance, pension, and
Right,
stuff.
after we shuffle all that around. So basically, you're asking for that amount.
So we take, here's an idea. If we lower that patrolman's budget down just a hair, they can move that number down to your dog budget and they'll still decrease the budget request overall. I'm saying drop your patrolman budget down to 200 even. That's $8,000 off. That takes care of the majority of your dog expenses.
That's true.
And that's a decent idea, right?
Oh, you got that and you go to 55,000 for patrol cars. I mean, is that something y'all want to keep?
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to have patrol cars.
No, I totally agree.
Can we leave the patrol car budget as is? We're gonna have to have one with the dog, but don't fire off on it immediately fiscal year start, you know what I mean? Look at it in
I
the
mean,
first
if we
quarter.
do that lease program, and everybody's agreed doing that lease program, our annual payment won't start until 6 months after.
6 months to a year.
Yeah, we can delay that payment, so,
Oh,
you
really?
know, we,
Yeah.
yeah,
For how much? How long?
I think it's up to a year.
What what dictates the 6 months or a year?
Well, you're going on through the lease program and you get the selected, and depending on who you have to
Oh.
finance, it, you can actually say, this is my first payment.
Oh,
Yeah, I picked the box and I chose 6 months, that's, I figured it was a good 6 months. So,
Should we do like 2 years?
so we can still do the lease program, get the vehicles now, and then 6 months, we have to make a payment.
If we delay it, just right, put it on next year's budget.
Well, good.
Delay it.
This is next year's budget.
Well, we can even go that very next year, in
We've
21.
done that before too.
Now, while you're here, you want to talk about animal control? On page 8 and 13.
I don't know what number you had.
You do the new ones, Sam? Or they're all?
Well, basically what we did, again, everything on the right is his updated new numbers he was looking for.
Okay.
What we had talked about the other day is in the 2019-2020 requested column.
So, I guess the salary is a little different. I can't remember what number I put for the 39,094 on her. I think that has a buffer in it too, from where she's getting paid at now. So, 20,000 for the shelter help. And then, for the vehicles, there's an additional 15,000 for, a box for the animal control. I do believe that was the only thing that I had. Yes. And the box is in desperate need of being replaced. So we have to do that.
Well, I think we said we had 20, 25 years use of it or better.
That's pretty good investment.
For long with it.
Did y'all have any questions?
And I think for her, be asking for, I got 11,327 is what we'll be asking for additional.
I got 26,698, but there's a difference in the,
Health insurance.
well, the shelter helper. Last time we talked about 10,000.
We went up to 20.
Right.
Decided on 20.
Right.
$10,000 increase,
20,000 is a lot of fluff.
$300 increase in mine too.
What's it really?
Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Get over here to it.
I never throw that in.
I know.
But
Well, I'll go back to the shelter helpers. What were we talking about? We were at 10 and then we went to 20? Oh, we had 10 and we were asking for
He
20?
was asking for, we were talking about
That's
10.
for-
Yeah.
She's got 10 now, correct?
Well, she's,
We changed it.
what happened, it was included, they had the amount set of like 50,000, but that included the shelter helper and all this other stuff. Bonita broke it out, she broke out her wage, and then overtime, and then 10,000 for the shelter helper. And, now, I think at the present rate, now this will be for the schoolgirl that was working part-time. I think it was for $6,000. So 10 would more than cover it. And, so, but
Well, we talked about it last time.
We talked
20.
about it quite a bit.
20, that's what we,
well, that's what he had proposed.
What do you think, I mean, would Julie rather have that money, if we had to choose, would she rather have that money in a second helper, or would she rather have that money in, some building maintenance and
Well,
upkeep? New kennels, that kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, granted, the shelter is in dire need of repairs.
So where's the best money spent for?
That's when we're, well, if we're gonna,
The best thing for the buck, I would say, is shelter help, because if not, then we're looking into overtime for Julie
Yep.
to take care of the shelter when the helper is not around.
Correct.
And the first year we had Julie, before she had the kids, I mean, she was the only one down there.
Yeah,
And we went way over on our overtime budget, like $6,000, because she was always down there. You know, and so I'd say we save money if we had two helpers down there. If we need to adjust the numbers, we can, it's fine. But I still would recommend two helpers, so that way they alternate weekends, and you don't have a helper going part-time every weekend, and
Can we move that to 12 then?
we can always look at it mid-year
I
or first quarter.
what's the hourly rate for, we have them at?
825 or something like that.
between maybe 17, 15.
That's kind of where I was going, 15.
So,
Well,
You're so, yes, we're 12, 15 to 17, you pick 12.
I mean, 20 hours a week for one helper, $8,000 a year.
Right.
So,
So 2 helpers, you're talking 16 and 17.
16, 17. I mean, granted, will they work that much? Probably not.
But they could, if
They
they get
could.
really full and everything else is there.
Yes. I mean, we've had a full shelter. And so it takes,
How many
Well,
kids can we board up there? Can we keep?
12, we got 12 kennels inside, 4 kennels outside. And depending on whether or not the dogs are compatible with other dogs, we've had them double stacked before.
Mhm. And cats?
And cats, we really don't have a holding facility for cats. So we keep them in kennels in the front room because they have to be separated. Cats are a little easier to get rid of as far as adopting out because everybody wants a cat type thing. No one wants a full grown pet. It's really hard to get rid of. So even though the pet's really friendly, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with the pet, no one wants a full grown pet. And so, you know, that's where she tries to outsource. You know, we've had 3 shipments go up to Washington, all between 6 and 12 dogs. But, and then again, we just keep on accumulating.
Right.
She does a great job with them.
And then hopefully we'll make our animal ordinances stricter where, you know, maybe we'll put a stop to it and kind of, so.
She's pretty successful about getting those dogs adopted.
Yes, she has a very big network.
She tries hard. Yeah.
She's gaining networks all over, all the time. And I know besides any court-ordered euthanization, we've only had to put down 1 dog.
Those are really,
So now if the court orders it, we have to do it.
Right.
We have to do it.
well, yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
aggressive dogs, by dogs, you know, so. And we've had some that just die on us because they've been there so long and they get, you know, sick and die. So.
So back to the shelter heifer, what we finally agree on,
We did.
or did,
We were between 12 and 17. And he said if you're doing 1 per year, 1 looked like 8.
Yeah.
So if you had the 2, it'd be really 16. 16's putting it right on the line.
that works for me.
Okay.
You put 16
16, 17, what?
16?
Okay. 16.
Where's the box?
In the vehicle line.
Yeah.
The 15.8 in the vehicle line.
What do y'all think about that?
We have to have it, don't we?
When we have it dilapidated, antiquated, and wore out, and it's 25 years old, so it's more like a absolute need.
I think it, I mean, from what I've heard, you know, that like the doors don't stay shut. Like the animal doors don't stay shut, the ACs don't always work, you know?
There's no AC in that box at all. It's been-
Yeah.
It's been rewired so many times, it stopped working.
It's,
And there's some units on there that she doesn't use for one reason or the other.
Yeah, because they're just not functional.
Okay.
You can't open the window or to get air in there, you know, stuff like that. Of course, she keeps 1 or 2 for storage, but, you know.
But still, there's some that aren't able to be used.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that 15,000 is the high-end, top of the line box.
So you have that in there, but that's not necessarily where we're going.
No, I mean, it ranges between 8 and 15. So I put the highest max in there so that way, you know, because I just looked at a generic box. Now, once you say yes, I'll look for the make, model, vehicle, and get the perfect box to fit on that chassis.
We're going to have to do any modifications.
Some
to
of
get-
them just fiberglass and some of them did.
Yeah, I'm not looking at fiberglass
That's what I said,
because
we don't want it.
fiberglass tends to bend and break.
And that's what I'm saying, that's the lower end. So
Yeah, that's, I mean, and they're, well, the fiberglass ones are below 8, and I'm not, I'm gonna get what you pay for.
Looking at stainless or aluminum?
stainless.
Again, if I understood you right, if we would do the lease program, we could get this whole thing outfit.
Essentially.
One of the lease vehicles being a
If we do the enterprise thing, yes,
truck from the box.
Yeah.
And it's already outfitted.
yes.
So,
Well, that vehicle's not that old though.
No, the vehicle is better than in 2016.
Yes.
So the vehicle.
That's one of the newer
vehicle chassis
but
is
if
fairly
we
new.
don't, if we have to spend 15 for a new box for it versus maybe getting it cheaper through Enterprise, going forward with it.
Retrofit that truck to be a city truck, with the tool bins, add her new dog catcher truck into your first 3 vehicles, get all new truck, all new bin. Save some money. Maybe.
Maybe something we're going to do.
I don't know, some of those police cars are pretty,
Well, but we can get 2 police cars and a dog car,
yeah,
price of 1 car.
yeah.
And then pick her car or him, put it on and replace some really old crappy regular work truck.
Oh, that's, I mean, it just came with a chassis, so there's no bed or nothing
Yeah,
on that vehicle.
Oh, the one, yeah,
It
yeah,
was just a
yeah.
chassis vehicle.
Yeah, it was a chassis vehicle. We bought it at low cost because we already had the bed now, so we put on it. We had to retrofit to make it work.
I don't know, but what, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have some monies in this. And if we did get a vehicle with a box on it, we could apply some of this money towards.
Yeah.
Well, it's in there.
So,
All right, what else?
Is that it for animal shelter and police? Or-
all right.
Field?
Let's see. There was some, we are the fire department on page.
well, we took the fire department out, I'm sure.
Page 6, is what we-
6 of 13. There was a little confusion last time we talked about the residual of the budget that we were gonna have. If y'all remember, we were talking about buying field gear. What's the official term for that, Robert?
Well, it's a multi-purpose gear.
Okay, but it's basically the hat, the PPE, the hat, jacket,
It's
pants.
just the jacket and pants and all that.
bucket here, basically.
Well,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is multi-purpose gear. It's gonna cover wobbling, it's gonna cover vehicle education, and it would be exterior structural firefighting. So,
Okay.
it,
Their goal, and I remember this from last year, when we bought the ladder truck, tower, they were gonna use part of that to buy bunker gear this year. But it was gonna be around $9,000. So, instead of buying it all at once, I've asked Robert to see if we could add it to this budget. So if you look on, I think capital expenditures.
Page 7.
Yes. I think that's where it went. We had,
Yeah.
we increased the budget a little bit there. The payment for the ladder truck is 27. Okay, so that would give them an extra,
3,000.
right. Well, and I bumped it up to 35.
35, yeah, you can-
Right, so.
8,000.
Yeah, and, but what we'll do, instead of buying all of them at once, because I think, how many total was that for 9,000?
16 to 18.
Okay, now, our immediate need is 6, and if we can start doing that November, December, October, November, December, on the new budget, we can buy 2, 3 pieces at a time. That way it's not a big ticket item all at once.
I talked to the gentleman last night that came from the company that we were looking at. He came and sized the whole department. So that way he knew what everybody needed, what everybody was. He didn't have to come back down this way again. This one needed something else.
So they'll already have the sizes and everything lined up, and we can actually schedule for PPE to be purchased on a monthly basis instead of all at one time.
So if we did, I just talked to you about it as far as splitting it up in sixes type deal. Or 6, 6, and 4, if it was into the 16 instead of the 18. If we order in on, let's just say, we order 6 October 1st. They're not gonna be.
Well, they're like 550 a piece, right?
Right. Okay. So, and that's an average, because understand, some of them cost like $564, some of them cost $512. Some of us that are a little more robust.
So just round up to 600, you got it right.
They charge more for it. But we're already on a net 30 basis with this company. So, and we don't pay for them, or the bill isn't sent to us until we receive them. So it wouldn't be October 1st that any of that would be due. It would be once each and every piece of the equipment is received and 100% in our hands, then it would be a net 30 from there. So we were hoping that the first 6 could be initiated there, because we actually have guys that just don't have any gear, and we don't have any gear that fits them. So, we do try to reuse gear and pass it on. We're going to a 2-piece system for 100% of the department instead of jumpsuits that are probably, 50%, maybe a little less even. Because once the jumpsuit fits you from head to toe, or it doesn't. We can mix and match top items. So that's what we're hoping for. We were going to use it out of what was the remainder of our capital expenditures. And like you said, we told we can do it, but we didn't have money to pay for it.
Well, it was at the end of the year, and honestly, I forgot about the conversation we had in October last year. And he was in here talking about it the other day, and I was thinking he's talking about this coming year, talking about wanting to spend the
Remainder.
Yeah, remainder. And honestly, I forgot he had that much money in that budgeted for that. So anyway, moving forward, if we can go ahead and start on that, that way we can do piecemeal and not just,
Let's do 6, that's 3
Yeah.
grand.
yeah.
So,
We did
I
save
think
some,
we're a little bit for
we were able to space it on like
somebody messing up.
say a 45-day split.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So in other words, once we received the gear and we paid for it on the net 30, then we would order the next 6. And then again, it would be about a 45 to 60 day possible push on when the money would be due. So,
Yeah, and we can handle that, but anyways, that was the ad there from the last time. Everything else is the same as we talked about last time we were here.
yeah, and the other thing is the papers that I handed out a while back. I'm sure y'all got 9 million pieces of paper.
We need some more.
For our skills and nutrients of the It's not like we're losing 20% of our oxygen in the fire in, is it Africa?
Making us feel.
Or something like that. So that we're clear on this year's budget, okay? We had talked about doing the line items, then it was mentioned about just possibly waiting until next year's budget to do the line items. If that's the case, that's fine, I just need to make sure that we're black and white on kind of what's been done in the past, so that it doesn't hit our budget this year because they're not line items or amounts that are put in our budget. If you look at the highlighted section in yellow, we didn't have that $2,000 on that first line item in last year's budget because we didn't have the truck yet. So that's an annual expense right there. Everything you see on that, other than the miscellaneous item, is an annual expense. The $5,000 for the TCFP, if they come in to do an inspection on Brent, that's gonna need to be a buffer. Since he's a licensed firefighter, and they come in and say, let's see both sets of gear, he's gonna be able to show them one.
Because I don't have another. My other one is out of date.
Licensed firefighters have to have 2 sets of gear. So all firefighters in Angelo have 2 sets of gear.
Right.
All firefighters in Abilene have 2 sets of gear.
So this,
Well, because if you have a call and it gets wet, you're contaminated, or that gear's contaminated at that point, and it's wet, you get another call. You know?
Basically too though, is if your equipment, your ensemble gets tore up or gets ripped or something, you can't use that. It's gotta be sent in.
You can't go to Walmart and just get some.
So then you have to have another set of gear.
Right.
So,
But understand, those are stations that have 6 extractor washers. They've probably got 6 dryers, which understand those are more like ovens, not in a tumble dry type scenario. That they dry out in, so it's forced hot air to dry them out. So that 5,000 is just understand, if that happens,
yeah.
so that's the top of the fine if we don't have it?
it's not
I
fine.
don't-
That's, if he says you gotta have another set of gear,
Okay,
you gotta buy a set of gear.
gotcha.
I have yet to see us get fined for anything. We get warned a lot. Because we just don't have, sometimes we just don't have the money to do what we have to do. And
Right.
that's the problem. We're a one-man paid fire department. And so, we have to do everything that a big department has to do. Is that fair? No, but that's the rules.
You're one person does, the other
The
volunteer.
other volunteers don't. I am the only one, I have to have an air pack. My air pack, nobody else can use it. I have to have a backup to that air pack. But what we do is we just leave it on the truck, and I just wear the one I have. When we tell the commission, this is my backup. And they'll say, does anybody use it? And I say, no.
So,
And so, there's ways around it, but eventually, they're going to, yeah.
Right. So we gotta be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
What's that? That is, actually went to from personnel equipment, that's just regular old fire.
okay, so really, lines 1 and 2 are the ones that, if the city wants to leave that on their side, that's for the 2 pumper trucks, the city fire trucks.
Where'd you go to, Bob?
The first
The
yellow line.
first 2 highlighted yellow
Okay,
lines.
thank you. Gotcha.
Those right there, if the city wants to still leave on their side, then,
Yes.
that's fine, but we just didn't want the bill coming in and having it hit the FD budget.
Gotcha.
We already had that on our side, you think?
It's been paid somehow.
Yeah, and it hasn't
He's been
been,
paying somehow.
yeah.
We're not aligned for those.
Yeah, that's what those are for.
That's what these are for, so that
So you know what your,
either this year's budget or next year's budget, we want it broke out this way so that as you're sitting there, the people after you down the road are sitting there and everything else, that they
They know.
truly know what those line items are for,
Right.
instead of just a miscellaneous,
Good.
minor tool.
Don't start him up.
The firefighting equipment, is that your hoses and what have you?
Sir,
The firefighting equipment, that is
hoses, nozzles,
hoses, nozzles, stuff.
suppose no thing like that, but again, that number is whatever that's agreed upon or whatever, that's just, we're not saying that we need
That's just the
that.
number we put there.
We're not saying that we need that
That
right
number's
now.
not something you're changing, you're just explaining what they are.
Right.
I'm explaining what they are, but I am saying that they will be, I mean, certain ones of these will be bills that will come up this year.
Right.
If they hit our budget, these are items that are not normally budgeted for. So the first two in the first section are two that are not normally budgeted for,
That need to be going
that
forward,
need to be one way or the other.
going forward, period.
Okay. So in the next section of highlighted, you're gonna have number 3, number 4, and number 5. So from extrication, tool maintenance, which is an annual,
And we're doing this now.
The extrication is biannual. It's every 2 years.
every 2 years. So it's not budgeted in a normal budget. It's something, I don't know.
paying for it already.
Yes, you're paying for it, but we're not being billed for it.
We have to do anything.
So we're basically taking it from your general budget over to ours.
Right, we're just changing it from one pocket to another.
Yes, yes, sir. So this isn't, we're asking for,
Additional funds.
we actually are asking for additional based on the ladder because it wasn't budgeted at all for anybody. So that's the additional funds, but, so on this one right here, like I said, from the extrication tool maintenance to the SCBA testing, those line items, and that's the numbers for those line items. That's not fluff, that's what the,
That's it.
right.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's 1,000, but it's 998.75 or something. And then the software, when we get down to the software to the last of those two, that's just a clarification on what software is.
It's our reporting software that we send to the state of Texas and also our e-dispatch.
Right.
So those are the two.
Existing bills that we already paid.
Yes, yeah, you already paid them.
Yeah, and those two lines are billed to us, but they're not separated out as what they are separately. It's just strictly
It's just so
software.
you know what you're paying for.
And this will also allow, the council, Tommy, to keep up with how much city water we use as well. Especially on county side of things.
You're talking about the software?
Yeah, the software, we account for gallonage used at everything, whether it's a dumpster fire or whether it's a grass fire.
Grass fire, too.
And we can separate what goes through our pumpers of how much we think we use
Okay.
compared to,
Usually,
on a structure fire inside of town compared to what we have on a grass fire, we can actually separate that.
yeah, we can usually get that from the guys at the water plant. They can tell us.
Speaking of which, while we're touching on that subject, I sent that letter out to county judge. It went out yesterday.
Yeah.
So he'll,
No response.
oh no, I mean, it's in the mail.
Oh, you mailed it.
Yeah,
Mail?
yeah, yeah, so.
We were hoping on that side of things too, that would possibly be a negotiation on the additional 10 grand that they're asking for us.
Right.
That would basically cover what I'll call tri-cert gear, which is called dual cert gear. You know, that would basically cover that line item right there of what the additional that they're asking for.
Backing up just a moment, we had already talked about needing to replenish your phone supply. Said they were very, very low. We don't, and we budgeted 500. I see you've got the phone chemicals 1,500.
That is, okay, so we bought an extractor for our gear, so our gear would last longer. So those chemicals are the wash detergent and spraying wash type stuff. That stuff is very, very expensive.
Okay, I'm aware, I know what you're talking about.
So that chemical is not really chemicals, it's foam and our chemicals for that
I'm
stuff.
aware of what you're talking about, so I understand, that's fine. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's not-
clear.
It's not cheap.
It's not soft soap and it's not Tide.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bottle, a regular spray bottle, it's $59 a bottle.
I know.
So, I mean, it's pretty
And this
expensive.
is like a bottle of
Everybody knew
Windex,
what
so
we were
60
talking
bucks.
about, phone chemicals.
We asked about a bulk purchase last night from the same company that came to do our sizing. And they, of course, sell other products as well. Foam that, would go on some of our trucks is, like $109 for a 5-gallon jug. Makes sense to buy a bigger 55-gallon drum.
Yeah.
But then you get into freight and all of a sudden 5 gallons prices look extremely good when it comes to freight. I think you said you'd save, if you bought 10 5-gallons, he said you would end up saving basically for every 2 you bought, you get 1 for free.
Because of this cost of the shipping and the hazmat on it.
Right.
And that's fine. I just want to be clear what we're
Now,
talking about.
also understand though that that does not have anything on it for any kind of railway or possible,
It's, I guess what you're buying, what you're telling them you're buying is, as foam, is wet water foam, right? Is that what you're- It's not actual AFFF, okay, 3%, 6%. That stuff is way more expensive. And some of that stuff has shelf life, as you know.
that's what we would have to attempt to use on anything that would be a derailment possibly, or even a vehicle accident, a semi-trailer carrying whatever methyl ethyl that they're bringing through our town. If you stop and just sit on a corner and look at the placards and look them up on the ERG book, you would not. You know the drugs are here, but you don't take the second to see what's coming through your town. You want to really start thinking about how dangerous stuff comes through our town.
Get those numbers, look at it.
Look at those
Look at
big
the truckers
placards.
and look at the train coming through.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but basically just the push is either to add the line items, so they're separated, and to make sure you understood which one of those are truly annual bills that we will see.
Okay.
This budget year.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Okay.
I didn't have anything else. Michelle, wanted to just go, the water is,
I just have a question, what is your water revenue?
yes,
Looks like we put it back up to 1,500.
1,500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
I thought we did, I mean, are we projecting it's gonna be that again? or-
We went down to one.
That was 1-3.
Oh, wait.
1,000,000.
Yeah, 1-3.
A lot lower than that earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we started looking at, this was a wave year. So, I mean, it's gonna be hard to predict if it's gonna be a wave year or not.
And that's fine, set it where you want it, every month we keep on track.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna
we adjust
track
as
it.
needed on amendments,
Right.
right?
That is
I just wanted to point it out that, I wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, you're right. But, I mean, I talked to Randy at length, and this was just an unusual year. But if we start getting rain again next year, like we did this year, starting in October and, all the way through spring, we can start adjusting this quicker.
So another question I was thinking about this, when we look at what we actually made, is what we budgeted last year, we fell short like $700,000 in revenue.
Right.
Did we also make up for that in the expense side on treating less water? And our
Yes.
taker pay is still the same regardless, right?
Right, the taker pay is still the same.
So we really took a hit with that loss of revenue.
We
What I'm
did.
trying to put through my head.
What we did, the taker pay is still the same, and then the cost of treating the water is relatively the same.
So we didn't have to treat as much in theory, because we weren't selling as much, but we were still buying.
But we're still using.
We're still having the same amount to pay for whether we took it or not. I just wanted to,
And when you get water from Ivy, sometimes it costs us more to treat it than it does our own
because
water,
of, yeah,
because of the difference.
Right now, we're able
Sources.
to do a mix. We're using some of our water, some of Ivy water. Our water is of better quality than what Ivy collects, so, and it helps us there.
The RO is always an expense.
It is, if you're putting RO in there.
no, I just wanted to,
And,
because I was thinking about that home, I was like, if we missed
something
how
else
much.
that helped us is that, we changed our injection sites.
Yes.
on the, and we've saved about $70,000 worth of chemicals this year.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
By changing that injection stuff.
Wow.
So,
That's good. I just clarified some things in my head about the water stuff and the water revenue. Because I was just really concerned about the 700,000 we missed.
yeah. Well, hopefully we won't, by the year end, if we make a $1.2 million, I'll be happy.
This year, yeah. Well, yeah, we still have time to make a little more.
Yeah.
Still gonna fall
Well, we got,
500,000 to 600,000 short on water revenues.
well, I'm thinking 3 to 5. something like that.
35.
But
It's a lot of money.
it is.
Can I ask a question?
What's that?
How much money are we losing from all these ranchers filling up at the fire department and not writing that ticket?
I mean, we're not right now because they have booked right
They-
now.
Well,
the
I
book is there.
I know there's a book there, but, it's an honor system. Granted, I've heard.
There's very few people that,
I mean, I didn't know, what's the difference between the number of tickets and how many gallons were used and the actual meter cost? Or the meter read,
Right.
see what I'm saying?
How much
I don't know
we
where the
losing?
difference.
Somebody could monitor that for
There's
2
gonna
months.
be, does the city guys, when they get water, do they write a ticket?
And we get water. That's
we don't
just
want
the
to
meter.
pay for that.
Yeah, I know, I understand that.
So a meter's never gonna match what they're getting paid for.
Right, but I mean, I just didn't know.
We don't have,
I
very-
mean,
we
you
don't,
don't calculate how much the water department uses when they fill up their sewer.
they don't write that down either.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
we should.
on average, how many times they fill it up?
Depends on when they're
And you
using
can
gotta use
calculate
it.
how many gallons y'all use.
We know that we use.
I mean, you know how much you use, so, I mean.
There may be some water loss there at this point. I was gonna ask them along the same lines, is are we giving away a lot of free water in different organizations, school, or anybody, anybody on the free meter?
The only thing we've done for like school, that I know of is, their pump got damaged in the tornado. So we helped them, we supplied our generator to, let them pump out of the pond out there.
Yeah.
Or wherever their source is, but we weren't giving them water. per se.
No,
I think the city.
I was just school as an example, I just, but I mean, any other organizations or?
No.
The city pays for Chandler Field, he says.
About that.
Isn't it part of,
That's what I was told, whether or not it's true or not, I don't know.
Oh, the
Yeah,
water?
yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
Sprinkler system.
But 'cause
it
they,
is connected some way, but it
I mean, it is
wasn't.
connected to the city.
they have a meter, yes.
I think there's a leak in the meter actually,
Yeah, that's what yeah, we've got that down.
kind of way over there.
They asked us the other day if they could get water, like a tank, and I said, yeah, I mean, just write it down and because they didn't know how else to water it. I mean, I don't know what their setup is, so, anyway, I can check on that and see. But,
I mean, I know we do have a security system or security cameras at the fire department,
Right.
They don't look outside.
but they don't look outside. I
Oh, we
mean,
can get a
depending
camera
on-
up there.
I don't know what the different number is, but, I mean.
Basically, most everybody is very few people.
I was gonna say, that's not an excessively high traffic area, but it is a high traffic. And the county comes through, they pretty much walk in.
Yeah,
right,
they
everything's
do all
gone.
their stuff. He comes in and takes care of his stuff.
Right.
You know,
About 4,800 gallons a year at the community center. That we wet down the sanded area,
Right.
for like the hunter dinner or for the stock show,
yeah, I mean,
stuff
that's,
like that.
What about that McDonald's?
no, we don't do
We haven't
that.
done in years.
And,
That was stopped because of the people that gave the land and said it wasn't being used as for the youth, so they didn't want to go there anymore.
Any questions? Good things to look into. All right. What else? No stories. No stories. Anything else?
well,
So what's the next step
Yeah.
in this?
is this, I can make those changes from the police department, and if y'all don't wanna make any additional changes to what he's already had, if you don't want to, let's say,
Well, I would say in the least move some numbers around, kind of like I suggested. I mean, in my opinion,
Is what?
if we leave the dog in there, I would say drop that patrolman down a little bit more. So we're not
hurting someone.
going to, just, yeah, we're not hurting someone. I mean, I'm for the dog, but I don't want to break the city either.
Right.
So that's my opinion. I would say move some money around and make that, where it's not just a complete addition where it's sacrificing one place to feed the other.
So what it boils down to is, well, okay, we got, if we're just looking at the police in general, you got fluff in there on patrolman, you got patrol cars, you got dogs, and then the dog box. So that's 4 items.
Or we could even go down to 2 cars instead of 3. That's stuff that y'all can talk about offline, but possibly,
Well,
I mean, I'm just looking for ways to fit the dog in personally, but that's me.
We need the dog.
There's a council here, so that's just my suggestions.
I've been after the dog. I mean, Chief knows this. I've been interested in the dog for at least 4 or 5 years, if not longer, just because of the opportunity and the possibilities of
Yeah.
the positive side of it, just like Mary Yates said.
Yeah, I mean, I think the positives outweigh it, and I'd like to fit it in if possible, again. Put us in the red.
Well, Winters has done a tremendous job in their area since they've had the dog. I mean, it's been huge. Don
If
does
you start
theirs.
bringing in money, I mean, it funds itself, funds a car,
Yep,
And it cleans up your streets.
and it gets the drugs away from my house.
yep.
And then your house.
There's a whole lot more opportunity and possibilities than negatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we tweak those numbers a little bit, maybe fit that dog in, kind of what we're looking at.
Well, we need to drop the patrol down to an even 200. And then, we'll,
Yeah, I think we are.
we'll look at the,
So he's saying drop the patrol down to 200.
Yeah.
That gives that 8 back. That's basically dog cost right
Okay.
there. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, right, yeah.
and, I mean, of course, depending on, enterprise and what.
Right. I know, all the other numbers can change again,
Yes.
And the
but
box.
we're working on it.
well,
This is a moving target, I guess you'd say.
Once we purchase the box, we can do a budget amendment, get the rest of the money out, put it somewhere else we need to, it's fine.
Mhm.
But,
Sure.
Well, on the highest number that we can go, that would be it done.
Okay.
on the patrolman, you have, that's $20,000 built in there. I'm not sure exactly what that's gonna be intended for.
Where you at?
On the,
You're saying if we drop it down to 200,
yeah, but I mean, you
we
still
still
got,
have a $20,000 buffer.
yeah. Is that for raises or is that for,
Well, right now, that 179,546, that was, the pay the officers were getting at that time.
Right.
So there was no room.
There's no buffer, nothing.
And so that would mean that Justin would have to say the same. And when I hire somebody on and they graduate probation and everything, I can't move them up. That was it.
And then if we get a dog, then he's not compensated for the extra effort and everything else that's going on with that.
Exactly.
And Justin, you would be willing to sign a 3-year contract?
I'm still talking to Stan about that, but yes.
We're still 2 to 3 year contract. So I told him the life of the contract for the life of the dog. He said no, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
so on the patrol car, we dropped that to what?
I say you leave, probably need to leave the patrol car where we're at.
It'd be interesting to see what
We're gonna
enterprise
go
comes
to
to.
200 on the patrol.
Yes.
Okay.
So that 8 right there covers the majority of the dog cost.
No.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
That works.
You should see a considerable drop on the enterprise deal, tires, flats, I mean, they take care of all that.
I'll just say,
Yeah, that's what we're
I
saying.
mean, the maintenance, tires, oil changes, any maintenance that happens to it.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure if they got wrecked or something, we'll have to pay for that. Of course, that'll probably be covered on the insurance.
Right, correct.
But
You're still covered.
anything major, if we have to change out a motor or something,
It's theirs.
It's falls under enterprise. Of course, a lot of, it's better having a newer vehicle because you have that warranty
Correct.
for, stuff. So, if something goes out, it's covered under warranty type thing.
Correct.
So unlike a 10-year-old car.
Nothing's covered in
Then
there.
Yeah, paying for it, it's out of pocket.
Yeah.
The maintenance on Enterprise, would we be able to use Oliver for that?
Yes, they,
Oliver, Paskey.
yeah, they contract out with the local, you know.
So they set it
Well, it's
up,
kind of
and
like
then you're able
having
to do it.
AAA. You know, AAA works with Ballinger Auto Tech, everybody, so it all covers the umbrella effect there.
It's a win-win situation for a company.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't do
And
this.
Enterprise, though, I mean, when I look at that Coleman deal, which I'll send it out to y'all at the end of this meeting, you know, it breaks it down on how much total savings you'll save and this and that. It's a little hard to read, you know, I'm pretty sure that they have to go through it with y'all, but, you know.
It's just in advance.
Yeah, I had to kind
Can't be worse than insurance.
of, no.
No,
We leased all our cars, the company I work for, they saved a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, thousands.
So,
So I would really think that pushing for a 5-year term for Justin would be the optimal.
he's not going for that.
I agree.
Normally, anytime on the sign-offs of any of that stuff on law enforcement or nursing, it's usually that 3-year mark.
So we don't let it be under 3 then.
Yeah, no. Three minimum. how's
3
that?
minimum.
of course, that's still negotiable, we can look at the total cost of everything and, you know, see.
Work just until he's burned out. That's the dog. They retire together.
I think the dog will be wore out before this is.
Of course, he's the only one that says yes to, when I ask for overtime. Someone working overtime, he'll say yes, so he's, I think he's up for it.
Cool. All right, before we move on or shut down, the next meeting is actually scheduled for the 2nd of September, which is actually Labor Day. So are we okay to meet on Tuesday the 3rd rather than Labor Day?
Fun by
Is
me.
everybody,
I believe so.
you sure? That's a
That's another
Tuesday.
day.
There's another T and a Tuesday, Tuesday. Really? All right then, next meeting will be September 3rd at 5:30 in the council chambers, please.
Before you,
Yes, sir.
is there not another budget meeting or what are we, and that's
Well,
what.
that's our regular meeting, I was just making sure we're regular meeting.
Okay, so we may still have another budget meeting, we may. I'm not asking to put one in there.
Well, I mean, if you're good with the numbers as they are, and we make the changes to the police department and the animal control, then I don't see a reason for another meeting.
As long as nothing changes before then, and then we re-present it again on the 3rd,
Yes.
and we have to go through that, we have to adopt it,
Right.
okay? We have to agree upon it, because there's still hearings that has to happen
Right.
before the 29th, before the 29th.
Okay.
Are the budget hearings at the same time as the tax hearings, or are they separate?
They can be at the same time. You
Okay,
basically go into one, come out, go into the other, come out.
okay.
Okay, I was clarifying, make sure, and when you plug all these new numbers in, can you send us the
I will.
current updates? I'm just gonna review over it.
Yep.
That works.
Cool.
I can do that.
Yeah,
You don't have to send it in regular mail, I'll take email.
yeah, don't put a stamp on it.
So that was,
No snail mail.
all right, anything else? Everybody good? All right, nobody's gonna jump and shout? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you all very much. Have a good rest of the weekend, be safe, and hope you get rained on.